Hello, hormone resetters. Today we are going to talk about the late afternoon. And the reason that we are going to focus on the late afternoon is that is the time when we engage in habits that disrupt our hormones. Such habits are the late afternoon coffee, sugary snacks, and sugary snacks can be something like a handful of gummy bears, but it can also be a handful of pretzels because as we've learned, whether it's carb or whether it's glucose, actual sugar, it all ends up as sugar in your bloodstream. So how do we avoid the late afternoon slump, which then causes us to engage in activities that disrupt our sleep and disrupt our hormonal balance? And of course, by disrupting our sleep, we further disrupt our hormonal balance. The first thing I want you to look at is your lunch. What are you eating for lunch? And I'm not referring to your Jolie Life lunch, but your regular lunch. If your regular lunch consists of, say, a sandwich, or if it consists of an energy bar, or if it consists of a typical protein shake that you would buy from like Jungle Juice or something like that, you are consuming a lot of sugar. Sugar in the bread, sugar in the protein bar, sugar in the like energy smoothie, energy drinks. If you're having pizza, for instance, the crust of the pizza, if you're having a wrap and it's a wheat wrap, you have that. So you're consuming a product, a food item that is going to very, very quickly break down into sugar in your bloodstream. What happens when we do that? What happens is that our energy rises very quickly. The body senses too much energy. It releases insulin to clear the glucose out of your blood, and then you have a dramatic energy drop. When that energy drop happens around 2, 4, 5 o'clock, depending on when your lunch was, suddenly you feel tired. Suddenly you feel sleepy. Suddenly you feel like, oh, I just need to take a nap. The way to avoid this is by changing your lunch. So when I design a lunch and when you design your lunch, I look for 3 things. I want healthy fats in the lunch, I want a lot of fiber in the lunch, and I want a good source of protein. So the protein late in the afternoon, your body is mainly going to use as energy, but it's a more consistent energy because it takes a long time for your body to break it down. Your fat, the body, hopefully through Jolie Life, you've become a fat burner, which is a beautiful thing to be, where you're metabolically flexible. Your fat's gonna get burned also, but it will get burned at a very, very steady level. Think of fat energy as very, very consistent energy that just lasts over a long period of time. After that, you want your fiber. And why do you want your fiber? You want your fiber because your fiber is going to, again, slow down the absorption of energy. So you notice a theme here. We are looking for very slow release, consistent energy. And when you think about medicine, for instance, the slow release versus the like unmodified quick release. The quick release medications, they give you that burst of medication and then they wear off very quickly. We started to develop slow release because we realized that slow release allows us to benefit from that medication over a long period of time. So think about that with your food. You want slow release food. You want to eat your lunch and to be able to have that energy for the next 4, 5, 6 hours. So you want a very slow release of energy. Looking at your lunch, is it wrapped in wheat? Is it a sandwich? Is it a protein shake? Is it an energy bar? If any of those answers are yes, you're not having your optimal lunch. You want quinoa, you want oat groats, you want sweet potatoes, and in the grain category, you want beans, lentils, things of that sort. You want healthy, clean animal protein if you eat animal protein, and you want lots and lots of vegetables. You want nuts and seeds and avocado. Those are the things you're looking for in your lunch. So that's the first thing. The other thing to consider is moving your lunch a little bit later. So we are naturally programmed to be hungriest during the day because this is our time of activity. This is when our metabolism is highest. This is when we are built to move, more or less. So allowing ourselves to have a really healthy breakfast and a really healthy lunch, but spacing those so that when we get home and have a late-ish dinner, so if you're having dinner after 6:30, this is a late-ish dinner in my book, you want to move your lunchtime back. So think your lunchtime should be around 1:30 to 2:30. That way, that time period between your lunch and your dinner is not as wide as it could be. So typically, if you're eating lunch at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and you're getting home and you're eating dinner at 7 or at 8, that is a huge amount of time that you are expecting your body to go without food. So the best thing to do would be to move that lunchtime so that the window is less big. If you can't do that, what can you do? What can you eat that won't disrupt your hormones? So for your late afternoon snack, I would recommend a pre-portioned bag of nuts. I would recommend pre-portioned yogurt. I would recommend a single piece of fruit that has the fiber intact. So an apple with its skin, a pear with its skin, a half a cup of berries with fiber intact. Those items will give you energy without causing a lot of disruption in your hormones. The thought that I wanted to get out, however, was if you are hormone balancing and also weight losing, I want you to go more toward the berries, more toward a single piece of fruit, less toward nuts because of the density of the calories, and less toward something like a coconut yogurt because of the density of the calories. The other thing you can do is save half your lunch. So eat your lunch, save half of it, and have the other half when you're going to have that slump. Now let's talk about beverages here, because that's also the time when we reach for the coffee. Here is a great time instead to reach for the tea, reach for the herbal tea, even reach for the matcha, which matcha does have caffeine in it. But the caffeine in matcha is, again, we're talking about the slow, consistent burn, is of that variety and tends to disrupt your sleep a lot less than the caffeine from coffee, for instance. So those are things you can do to help ensure your afternoon. Let's talk a little bit about supplementation, because supplementation is an important part of hormone balance. In our soil, unfortunately, as we spoke of before, there are not enough minerals for our bodies, basically. And so supplementation becomes part of our self-care program. So what do I want you to supplement with? I would love it if you would supplement with magnesium, as we started with. Supplement with CoQ10. It's a great supplement for hormonal balance and to keep your cells healthy, which make your hormones. To supplement with your D vitamins, because most likely you're not getting enough, particularly because we're heading into the colder days when we're inside more, and with your B vitamins, B12 in particular. If you have afternoon slumps, B12 is going to be one of your saving graces. So those are supplements that you can begin to integrate into your daily routine that will help balance your hormones and will help you to sleep better. So that's it, ladies, for your hormone balancing update. We are in our our fourth session, and the next session is going to be on sleep.